Okay, it's 12:45 and we have a jam-packed session, so I want to go ahead and get started on time and welcome you to ISTE 2013 and welcome you to Apps and Edmodo. My name is Tiffany Lavoie and I'm an instructional technology consultant with KEDC. That is an educational service center in the state of Kentucky. And it is my pleasure to be here with you today, and I hope that when you leave today, you walk out with something that you didn't know when you walked in. And I know you all are cramped like sardines, and you just had lunch, and you're tired, and you know what this time of day is like in your own classroom. So try and stay awake, pinch yourself, grab a drink of water, and we're going to blast full force into this. On this top page here, I've given you a couple of directions. If you were pre-registered for this course, you got an email from me that asked you to sign up as a student in this Educreations course. It's important that you follow this specific link. Don't just go to educreations.com, because if you do and you try and sign up using an email that you already have used to create a teacher account, guess what it's going to do? It's going to try and merge those two accounts together. We don't want that to happen. So step one, to create your Educreations student account, go to educreations.com/SR/87423F. It should say subscribe to Tiffany Lavoie's class. Do not attach an email to that account, which is also a good note, a mental note to take, because your students don't have to have an email account to sign up for your course. Second thing, if you are not a part of our Edmodo group, please join edmodo.com, sign in, and then click join and enter in that code, MJV36E. While you're taking care of those couple things, let me share my contact info with you. If you want to scan that QR code, that'll put my info into your phone or your device. So again, edmodo.com, MJV36E. Your student account's going to be educreations.com/SR/87423F. Are we good? I'm going to go fast, so yell at me. Say, Tiffany, slow down. Or Tiffany, go ahead. Did you guys get the handout that was sitting in the back? I don't know if there is somebody maybe outside that could help volunteer to pass that out, but these instructions on these accounts are listed on the handout, and at the top of the handout is this entire presentation. So you will have everything that I am doing at your fingertips, okay? So don't feel like you got to frantically take notes. It's all going to be there for you. Okay, so in the interest of time, I'm going to move ahead. Tiffany.lavoie@kedc.org, at KEDC Tech Consult is where I am on Twitter, and then Technology with Tiffany is a Facebook page that we've created at my educational co-op, and we try and share all kinds of free technology tools for the classroom. So again, if you can't get that QR code to scan for you, I know sometimes you got to be right dead smack in the middle of it, right? You'll have this presentation and you can scan it at the end. The top of the handout has the presentation link, and I can put that up at the end. You're welcome. It says presentation right underneath my name, and then it's a bit.ly. All right, I know some of us are still scanning, but I'm going to be mean and go on so that we can get started with this. Quick snapshot of myself. I live in the beautiful Commonwealth of Kentucky in Lexington, Kentucky. I attended the University of Kentucky, so I'm a huge UK basketball fan. Woohoo, go Cats! I have twin 9-year-olds, Zoe and Gabriel. My daughter is a gymnast. My son is an artist and pianist. And my husband is from BC, Canada. So we spread both sides of North America, and we have a fun, exciting, very busy life, like most of you probably do. All right, one more time. Here it is. Group code for Edmodo, MJV36E, our Educreations account, student account first. Don't include your email on the student account. If you did, log out, go back into educreations.com/SR87423F and create a new student account without an email. Okay? You can have multiple student accounts, sample student accounts if you want to. But you want to make sure that you don't include the email in that student account so it doesn't try and merge. Yes? They shouldn't. But luckily, as a student account, you don't even have to put one in if you don't want to. All right, did everybody have and download a scan app? A QR reader, basically. It doesn't matter if it's this one, as long as it reads QR codes. Here are the bit.lys to the Google Play download and the iTunes download if you don't already have it, but you can just type in the search scan. This is probably the simplest one that's out there. You may have one that's a little fancier that you like a little bit more, but I like free, and this one's free. So what are our learning objectives today? We're going to increase capacity to effectively use Edmodo as a way to harness the power of Educreations and connect our apps. We want to make sure that QR codes are effectively incorporated, and we'll talk about, do you actually post the code on Edmodo? Do you post it on your wall? What's the best way to do that? And then how do we really take that Educreations app and effectively put that into our Edmodo platform? Show of hands, who's currently using Edmodo in their classroom on a regular basis? Yay! That's awesome. All right. So that's good. You're in the right place because this is not Edmodo 101, okay? I'm hoping that we're beyond the basics at this point. We're going to talk more about embedding external content, okay, and how to use that to create assignments that ultimately become paperless. Did everybody join our group? We're almost there? Yeah, you can log in as your teacher account for Edmodo. Absolutely. So once you're in your Edmodo account, as you know, over on the left-hand side, you've got join or create for your groups. You're going to select join, and our code is MJV36E. Of course, here's the teacher landing page. I think we're all probably familiar with this landing page by now. And so what you should see is this if you are in the group that we have today. And the first thing that you should see is a poll. And I asked, what device are you using for today's session? And choose the answer that reflects your primary device or devices. And so it looks like we've kind of got a combination of things. Let me refresh this page here real quick and let's see what we... So we are very iPad heavy in here today. Okay. All right. If you would please scroll down on that Edmodo account if you've got it open. Of course, you can work through Edmodo as an app, or you can work in Edmodo through Safari or Chrome, right? You can do either one. But down at the very bottom is where we're going to get started, and you will see two entries. You will see one that says, view today's Educreations lesson on drawing polygons in the coordinate plane. And here's what the resource looks like as an embedded video. And if you click the blue arrow, the embedded video populates in your Edmodo page. What this means is that you can already have this loaded the night before, the week before, or the morning of your lesson, and everything is right there on your Edmodo page. And we're going to show you how to grab that embed code from Educreations to do that. Now, if you are on an iPad, what happens when you go to tap on that? Exactly. It says, tap this to open in the iPad app. What if you don't have the iPad app? It's not going to happen. So you need to make sure that that Educreations app is loaded on your iPad. What happens if a student tries to open this on their phone? Anybody tried? Not going to happen. Okay? It'll work beautifully. because I'm on my MacBook, so it'll open up, it's embedded. You can even full screen it, and we can start that Educreations lesson. And today you are a 6th grade math student. Can you figure out what shape is going to be drawn just by looking at the coordinates of the vertices? Today, we are working with the math standard today, 6.G.3, because I'm going to ask you to be a student first. I think it's important that you see how this works from a student perspective as well as a teacher perspective. So we're not going to take the time to watch this entire lesson unless you want to mute your own device and watch it. But this is an example of an education. That's what we're going to learn to do. Text, you will learn how to draw polygons. Images, all of that can be brought into an Educreation. It's a chance for you to create informational videos, put them inside of a course that you put together, and then share that with your students. We will look at how those students then take that information and create their own Educreations. So this is the first way that you can post information from Educreations. The second way would be to create a hyperlink. So here's what it looks like as a hyperlink, a little bit different. Is that video going to open up immediately in Edmodo and show it to us? No. What's it going to do? Click on it and see. If you're on an iPad, it's going to launch it in the app. If you're on a laptop, it's going to take you to educreations.com. Can you figure out what shape is going to be drawn just by looking at the coordinates? Where you can watch it there as well. So there's the difference between how you can post Educreation videos on Edmodo. Hyperlink versus embedded content. So once we've watched our video as a student, maybe what I want to do is provide you with some extra independent practice. And I can do that through a QR code. Here's how I view QR codes. They put your students in the express lane to getting information on their device, right? Instead of a big long hyperlink that you post and you're waiting for them to type it in, all they're doing is holding up the device, scanning the code, and immediately everybody is where they need to be. Right? Express lane. And then you can move on with the learning, and that's what we want to do. So here we have a QR code. And again, the QR code, if you've got it up on your device, you can't very well scan it, right? But if I am teaching from my Edmodo page, and I don't want to be skipping between things, I've already got it up here. Kids, scoot over to your scan app, scan the QR code, let's do some independent practice. Now, do you see why we put the QR code on our Edmodo page? Because we're doing this in real time. So, if you would like to scan the QR code, if it's going to pull up for you, it's going to take you to practice on Khan Academy. Now, I have heard of several QR generators while I've been here at ISTE so far. I use QRstuff.com. I sat in on Adam Bello's session earlier today, and he talked about Deliver, and you may have your favorite. Really doesn't matter which QR generator you use. I just highly encourage you to use QR codes if you are in an environment where your students have devices that can read those codes. Okay? Oh, sorry. There you go. So it should point you to that Khan practice. You can always do a backup with QR codes and provide the hyperlink in case the QR code doesn't want to read for your students. And that is what I've done in this entry, Edmodo entry, right above the QR code. Okay. So I'm going to shrink that back down. And I'm going to scoot on up. Oh, look at you guys. You are in a race. All right, so after we have some independent practice in the classroom, it's time for us to do a QR race. So QR codes don't just have to point you to a YouTube video or a URL. They can also point you to plain text. And that's exactly what this QR code is. So if I expand this here, and you scan this QR code, it's going to give you a little activity. The activity is going to give you 4 ordered pairs and ask you to plot that on the coordinate plane. And then it's asking you to respond as a reply in Edmodo. And there's a prize involved with this. I think I have about 12 little prizes to give away. a couple of iPad styluses from Educreations, and some scratch and win cards from Edmodo that they dropped off. So, let's see what happens here. Is it reading for you? Can't get the right angle? That's the hardest part about these BYODs, is if you're not straight on with the QR code, it can be hard. All right, so we've done the Educreation lesson beforehand. We've let our students watch that for initial content, especially if you're doing a flipped classroom. Educreation supports that beautifully. We're in class. We're ready to go with our new lesson. We've scanned QR codes so that everybody is in the same place. We've provided some independent practice. We've created a little competition with our students. We've asked them to reply within Edmodo. Everything we've done has been within Edmodo. Now it's time for you to create using the Educreations app. That's why it's important that you became a student. Okay? Because as a student, you can create videos, grab the hyperlink that's generated from that created video, and then you're going to post that as part of an assignment feature that's been displayed through our Edmodo page. Again, we're connecting these tools together. All right, I'm going to shrink this down because it looks like we got lots of responses. Excellent. All right, 28 more replies. Excellent. Okay. Do you know how to go and create a plain text QR code? Have you ever done that before? Okay, so let's go do that. This is my favorite site, QRstuff.com, although I really liked the idea of Deliver that was presented earlier today, because you can edit existing QR codes and keep the same printed code and redirect to a different website. But QRstuff.com is the one I've used, and so we're going to continue to use that. So here's how it works. Step 1 of QRstuff.com is your data type. So what are we pointing in the direction to? Well, we're going to create plain text. So you go down and you click the bubble that says plain text. And then you get a text box. And then you type in whatever it is that you want to say. And you have an instant QR code that shows that plain text. From there, you're going to download that code. If you're on a laptop, depending upon your browser, you click download, it's on the laptop. How do you download a QR code from your iPad? So when you, so you could do a print screen. You could take the picture of it, or you could launch that in Safari, hold down, and save the image to your camera roll, right? Because on Edmodo, from your iPad, you can attach image files from your camera roll.
So, say that again.
Yes, so from your iPad, if you want to save your QR code, and I'm just pulling it up on my iPad, and then I'm going to switch over so you can see what I'm doing. Create the code first by putting in the data type. So I'm going to switch real quick over here to my iPad, maybe. Oh, did my AirPlay go away? Am I on? Awesome. Okay, so I'm on QRstuff.com. You click plain text. You type in your text. Yes, www.qrstuff, all one word, .com. So we've got our QR. We come over here to the side, and if you click Download QR, there it is. Now how do we get it into our camera roll? Tap and hold. Save image or copy. What are we going to do? Save the image. Once it's saved, it's now in your camera roll. And then from your camera roll, you can even create an album of QRs. So all your QRs get dumped in the same album. And then you can go in and rename it as well. So that's how you can create plain text QRs. Create little QR races. You can have questions posted through Edmodo, and then the answers are hidden in the QRs that you post around your room. It's a great way to do scavenger hunts with QRs. So you can do a combination of posting the image on your Edmodo page and posting the images around your room or at the front of the door as they walk in. Okay, questions so far? QR codes, creating them, what Educreations looks like, embedded content versus a hyperlink. Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do now is switch back over to the laptop real quick. And it's time for your Educreation activity. You should see an assignment. Looks like this. Mine says turned in. What does yours say? It should say turn in, because you're my student today. And that's your assignment. So let's look at what our assignment is. Using Educreations, plot the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. Using the coordinates as vertices, complete the shape. Use the scanned image of the coordinate plane to help construct your Educreation. Make sure to include the why for your how. You might want to, if you have a pen, now those seem to be obsolete at ISTE, I want you to write down those ordered pairs maybe, so it'll just make it easy for you once you get into your app, if you want to. Otherwise, you can just switch back and forth between your Edmodo and your Educreations, but it might make it easier to write those down. Okay? So those are 2, 3, negative 1, 3, 4, 1, and negative 3, 1. So now it's saying use the scanned image of the coordinate plane. So how are we going to get that? Here's probably going to be the fastest way, okay? You can either take a picture of this image right here, or I can give you the QR code, and we can scan the QR code, and you can save the image. Since the QR codes are a little difficult for us coming from all angles, maybe we do it this way for the sake of time. I'm going to ask you to take a picture of the coordinate plane, which will then be saved in your camera roll, because we're going to use it in your Educreation. So take a moment, take a picture, and then you'll have it ready to go. Yeah, it will. It's okay. I would not normally do it this way. In the classroom, I would do it like this. I would put the QR code up there. I would ask my students to scan that QR code, and it's going to point them to an image of the coordinate plane. How did I get a QR code to point them to a picture that's a website? Exactly. So I just went to Google and did a search for copyright cleared images, right? Then I copied the hyperlink, and then where did I go to create the QR code? What's that website? QRstuff.com. And what kind of data type am I going to have this time? A website, right? Because I went and grabbed that hyperlink of the coordinate plane. So that ensures, number one, that if you're having your students create an Educreation, they're all working with the same image to start out. Now, you would not have to do that. It just fit in this particular lesson. Or if you want them to start with a particular diagram or start with a particular idea, it points them all in that first direction and saves it, and then from there, they can create their own. So do we have our saved image? Are we good? All right. So again, if you have used the QR reader and you have scanned it, you got this. You got that, right? So how do you save that to your camera roll? The first thing you need to do is you need to open that image in Safari. Because if you're using the Scan app to scan a QR code that points you to a picture, you can't save it from that Scan app, can you? Did you try and hold it down and it wouldn't let you do it? Right? It's because you've got to launch it in Safari. So you go up to your little arrow, you launch it in Safari. So again, if you're having your students scan QR codes that point them to an image online, get them in the practice of once they scan that image, they need to launch it in Safari or whatever, in a web browser, so they can then save it. If it's not reading for you, it's okay. It's for the purpose of practice. The bit.ly, okay, so if the QR isn't working, I have provided the bit.ly, so you can just go and type that in, and the image will pull up that way. All right, so once you have opened it in Safari, now you can hold your finger down on the iPad for a second, release, and click Save Image, and it goes into your camera roll. Oh no, did the internet go down? On and off. We are making it work hard. Okay, so we've got our coordinate plane saved in our camera roll. We're ready to create. Two platforms in Educreations. Web platform, the app. They work differently. The app is best for creating your videos. You have more features. You can pull in images from Dropbox if you're a Dropbox user, web clips, your camera roll, and then once those images come in to Educreations, you can resize them. You can manipulate them. If you're strictly working from educreations.com, you'll be able to pull in an image, but you're not going to be able to manipulate it. The website, however, is the best place to go to create a new account and to create new courses. Because when you're in the app, does it give you a choice to create a course? No. Does it give you a choice to subscribe to a course? No. So think app is for creation. Okay, app is for creation, and the web platform is for working with those creations. Here are screenshots of the difference between the web version and the app version. Look up at the web version. You're missing the text tool altogether. You do have the image selection on the web version. It sits at the bottom of the screen, whereas in the app version, it sits in the top. So here's just a visual of why we want to work in the app instead of the web version. Quick points to remember with Educreations. Show of hands, first of all, who has created an Educreation before? Awesome. So you know that once a lesson's saved, can it be edited? No. Nope. You can, however, once you've put all of your background of your Educreation together, You can go in and delete the recording and start all over again with the recording, and that's fairly new. It used to be what happened. If you didn't like what you said, you had to completely start all over again with everything, and that was no fun. You can pause recordings to switch between your pages in Educreation. Your images can be from the web, from Dropbox, from your camera roll. There are 4 paper backgrounds to choose from. And when choosing how to publish your Educreation, it's important to think about what your audience is going to be. Who do you want to have see your Educreation? And I know I'm going fast, but just remember this entire presentation is going to be yours at the end, okay? You'll have all of these slides. All right, are you in your app? If not, please go there now. Educreations. Educreations, thank you. I'm going to switch over. Okay. Are you signed in as a student? Do you know how to check to see if you're signed in as a student? Go down in the bottom of your little wagon wheel and click on Settings. You'll see a place where you were logged in. I'm logged in as Sandy Sample. Okay. So if you are not logged in as a student, I would ask that you do that now. And in order to do that, if you're logged in as a teacher, just click Log Out and then log back in with your student credentials. Okay. Are we still down? Show of hands if the internet is not being nice to you. A few, okay. All right, we're going to create a new lesson. So click on New Lesson, please. Student. So that's why if you open up the app and you're not sure, go down into your little sprocket, your settings wheel, bottom right-hand corner of the app, click that, it expands into this window, and choose to log out as a teacher and log back in as a student if you need to. You don't have the wheel. Okay, you're in the app where you create, right? Hit done, and you might have to say discard. Then that should put you back on your dashboard. Did that work? You're on the web version. This is the app version. Yeah. Make sure you're in the app version. I'm inside the Educreations app. If you are in educreations.com, it's going to look different. Remember, our app is for creation, and the web is for organizing and sharing those creations. So now that we're all in the app, now does it look like this? Or it may look like that. This is where I want you to be. Okay? All right, so this is the assignment. You're asked to create your own Educreation as a student. What's the first step that we're going to do? Because I wanted you to work with an image, we got to go do what? Grab our image. Where do we do that? Up at the top. Yep, that little square. Click him. Where are we going to pull it from? Photos. What could we have also done? You could have just taken a picture of that too. So there's a couple different ways. If you're in your classroom and you're having them create their Educreation in class, throw the image up that you want them to use, have them launch the app, and take a picture right then and there to put into the app. But if this is an assignment that you're having them do over the course of a couple of days, that's where you're going to want to provide them with a way to get that image outside of your classroom. All right, so photos, camera roll, find your coordinate plane, and put it on the page. We good? Take your finger, pinch to zoom, move it around on the page. Now your annotations. Choose your color. If you don't like the 4 colors they've given you, choose one color, click the little arrow that's attached to it, and make your change. Put your ordered pairs in, which were 2, 3, negative 1, 3, 4, 1, and negative 3, 1. I'm asking you to plot these ordered pairs, and sometimes drawing a little dot might not be the prettiest thing in the world. So get creative. You have a text tool. Go up into your text tool, tap anywhere on the screen, and use something like this. Okay? Or an X or whatever you want to use. And now that becomes movable. Are your annotations movable? Try it. Mm-mm. So if you need something to move around on the page, it needs to be an image, it needs to be text, your annotations are going to stick there. What happens if you write something on there and you don't want it anymore? Undo or erase. You can clear your ink, you can clear the page. We've got 4 ordered pairs, so let's be smart and work smart. Click on whatever type of dot that you use to create, and at the bottom you have a menu of how you want to work with that particular annotation. And we want to duplicate him 3 times. And now you've got your point for each of your order pairs. What we're doing is we're setting this up ahead of time so that when we go to record, we're ready to go. And so what you're going to do is create that educreation that shows me that you have an understanding of how to plot those points, draw the shape, and understand how polygons work when you're working with ordered pairs with given, or excuse me, that the ordered pairs are given vertices. So I'm going to be quiet and give you about 1.5 minutes. And it really doesn't matter what you say. If you are not a math person, that is okay. The goal is to have an educreation so we see how to work with it on the end. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, you'll click record to record. Once you are finished recording, you will hit done and then pause and wait, and we'll work together from there. All right, ready, set, go. Thumbs up if you're done. Thumbs down if you need a little more time. Let's take about 10 more seconds. All right, even if your Educreation isn't ideal or exactly what you want, we're going to go on and save that so that we can post that to our Edmodo space. A couple of things that I do want to point out quickly, though. If you need more than one page, you can have a multi-page Educreation. Where do we add a page? Yeah, down there at the bottom with that little plus sign. And what's cool is that I can duplicate not only the page, but also the ink on the page if I want to. So if I'm doing a step-by-step process, it's great because I can create step 1 of my process, duplicate the page and the ink, move on to step 2. So it almost becomes like a bulleted presentation, slide by slide. Then you choose how quickly you move through those slides as you create your video presentation. If you wanted to add some additional backgrounds, that's what that other icon is down at the bottom beside our duplicate page. We've got white paper, we've got line paper, graph paper, and the coordinate grid. I thought you would laugh at that, like, Tiffany, what are you doing? You're killing me. Okay? Again, purpose of practice. Okay? But for future reference, for those of you that are math, it's there for you already. Okay. The line paper is also very nice. Just remember, when you put in a background, it is exactly that. It is a background. So if I put an image over top of that, is that going to be a transparent image and show my lines behind it? No. All right. Okay, hit done. Hit save lesson. Title it, My Awesome Educreation. You do not have to put a description. Now select Next. It's going to tell you who you're logged in as. Make sure you're logged in as that student. And then hit Save. And it should put you on your dashboard. Thumbs up, we're good? We're there? Kind of. Thank you. So this is our dashboard. From here, you got to share your Educreation with me, so as the teacher, I can collect that through the Edmodo assignment that was posted for you, and so that I can easily see everything that you've created. Are you all going to see one another's Educreations, or just me? Exactly. Okay, so if your kid's like, I don't want to show this to everybody, that's okay, because they're not going to. You're going to be the only one that sees it. So how do we do that? What's that universal share button? Where is it? Top right-hand corner, so click it. If you're really proud of your Educreation, tweet it out. If not, maybe hold off. You can email it, so you could have your students email it, but hello, we're working with Edmodo, so what are we going to do? We're going to grab the hyperlink. So click on the link, please, and copy the lesson link. And now that's copied to your clipboard on your device. So again, click on that link. You've copied the link. Now you're ready to post it. So go over into Edmodo, and you can do that through your app, or you can do that on the web. Find the assignment and click the Turn In button. Now mine says Turned In. Okay, but you're going to do Turn In. So I'll log out here real quick and log in as a student so that you have the same view as me. Oops. Okay, so click Turn In. I have already submitted the assignment, but I'm going to resubmit it. You're going to submit it. So you will click where it says to submit the assignment, you're going to post, here is my Educreations assignment in the description. So here where it says your open text box, here it is. And then underneath that, you've got what? Your link, your file that you can attach. If you are on an iPad and you click on File, what choices do you have? Okay, so you're limited, right? If you're on a laptop, what choices do you have to add a file? Virtually anything. So there's the difference between working from an iPad and working from a computer with Edmodo. Okay? If you have a Smart Notebook and you want your kids to create their own Smart Express lesson, you could do that as long as they could submit it through edmodo.com. But on the iPad, it's important that you remember only images or pictures they take can be added into their assignment as a file. But we do have the link feature, don't we? And isn't that what you have? Right? So click link. And hold your finger down for a second. Attach the link. And you're going to paste. And it's a big old long nasty web link, but it'll work. And when you tab down to the second text box, what does it do for you? It pulls in the title that you titled your own Educreation. Now you're going to click Attach. And then you have to give a reaction for your Educreation. And then you turn it in. And from the start to the finish of our entire lesson, did I ever have you pull out a piece of paper other than to write down your ordered pairs? No. Okay. So now how do I grade it as a teacher? Once you've turned it in, you log in as your teacher account, and you go into the assignment you created, and all the assignments will show right there on your page, and you go in and assign the grade, provide feedback, comments. If you feel like the student needs to have an opportunity to resubmit, you don't feel like the demonstration has mastered what you know they're capable of, they can resubmit and resubmit exactly the way that I just showed you. So that's the student side and how you will walk them through using Educreation as a student. Thank you. Here is what will happen sometimes in an assignment. What will happen is some students will choose to reply to the assignment versus turn in the assignment, and this is excellent that we have this example. Here's the difference. If they reply, are their friends going to see their assignment? Yeah. Unless you have it to where you moderate all the comments that come in to your Edmodo account. So what is a best practice? You make sure that your students know that if you have an assignment, what are you going to click to share that assignment with me? Turn in. Always. Otherwise, that's what you get.
I'm stuck. I don't know if anyone else is. I went to the mobile version of Edmodo and half of the stuff isn't there, and I can't go to the full site. Someone have a suggestion for me? I click the full site at the bottom and I take the M away and it just keeps moving back in.
Did you go in and completely shut the app out from your status bar and it's still wanting you to go to mobile? I would maybe, yeah, I mean, as much as I wouldn't want you to have to shut down your whole device, I don't know if that would probably be my next troubleshooting. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left, and we're going to switch your role, very quickly, and we're going to log in to educreations.com as a teacher. Okay? So not the app anymore. I want you to go to educreations.com and log in as your teacher account. I think I see a hand way back there. Did somebody have a question? No? Okay. So again, educreations.com and log in as a teacher. So not the app. So not the app. We're actually going to be on the web, educreations.com, and you're going to log in from the home page here as a teacher. If you did not have a chance to create your teacher account, you can do that down at the bottom, sign up free, and then choose teacher. And this time, definitely attach your email. So as I said, there's two versions of Educreations, the app and the web platform. The web platform is where we want to be to create our courses. Remember how I had you go in and create a student account with a specific hyperlink? I got that because I went to educreations.com and I created a course for all of you. The advantage of creating an Educreations course is that whenever you create a video for that class, it gets put into that course. So that when your students log in to educreations.com, they instantly have that entire video library right there at their fingertips because they've subscribed to it. Do they have that through the app? No. Remember, the app is for creation. But educreations.com is how you organize it and how you get to it. And that can be a little confusing in the beginning. So once you go into educreations.com, you should be placed on a dashboard that looks like this. Are we there? Okay, and down on the left-hand side are any courses that you've created. We're going to create one now if you don't have one. Click on the Create a Course. Remember, you've got to be in educreations.com. You will not have this option in the app. It doesn't have Create a Course? Okay. Wait. Are you here? Click on the logo in the upper left-hand corner one more time. And make sure that you are in as a teacher, because if you're in as a student, you cannot create a course. You can only create a course as a teacher. Where does it say? In the upper right-hand corner where it says, Welcome, Tiffany. You can click on Account to see who you're logged in as. Okay. That's how when I created my student account, I didn't name it Tiffany. I named it something totally different so I could know who I was. And if I click on account, I see that my email is attached to this account. Okay? So here's how we create a course. Click on Create a Course. If you don't have Create a Course, just follow along with me on the screen. Okay? You can create it later. You would put in your course name. So I'm going to call this ISTE. And the privacy is important. You want to say visible to all at my school. You can choose the subject and a description and click Create. There is a place where you can add in your school if it is not on there. Does anybody remember off the top of their head? It asked you your institution, didn't it, when you signed up? Right? Okay. I mean, there really wouldn't, it's just going to be the videos that you create, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to show it to everybody at your school, but if you'd rather just do students, you can do that. Another question? Not at this time. All right, so once you create the new course, click on the Students tab, and there is your specific hyperlink for your course that you want your students to subscribe to. Again, click on the Students tab. That's the specific course that is created for your students. That way, any Educreation that you put into that course, they will see inside of that course tab. You can either give them the specific hyperlink or you can tell them to go to educreations.com and put in that course code, but I just like to give them the whole URL right there. If at any time you want to change the settings of that course, go to the Settings tab, and then the Lessons tab at the top shows you any Educreation you've created. Now, you will not have the choice to add an Educreation to a particular course in your app. It doesn't give you that option. What it does is it puts it in your entire Educreation library. Okay? So you would create an Educreation the exact same way as a teacher as you did as a student. You would open up the app, make sure you're logged in as a teacher, create it, save it, but then to add it to a course, where are you going to go? You got to go to the website. Again, app for creation, website for organization. So once you create that, go to educreations.com, go to the course you want to add it to, and what are we going to click on? How do we add an Educreation? Add an existing lesson. All of your Educreations are there. Choose the one that you want to add, and then click Add Selected. Now you've got that in your class. Okay? Hang in there, we got 2 more minutes. Okay? All right, so to get it on Edmodo as an embedded video, okay? As an embedded video, you have to make your lesson public to embed. Why? Because it's streaming live, right? It's pulling it off of Educreations and sticking it on Edmodo. If you've made it private, is it going to be able to stream it? Is it going to be able to pull it off? No. So, big key point, if you want to embed where you can just click on that little blue arrow and see the video beautifully in Edmodo, make it public. Otherwise, you're going to need to grab the URL, the hyperlink. And in order to do that, you click on your name, you click on the lesson, and over to the right-hand side, you have the hyperlink. See it? Share this. There's your hyperlink to a specific lesson. A couple of things that we didn't get a chance to talk about were Edmodo communities. It sounds like that most of you are already big-time Edmodo users. So you probably are already connected into the communities. If you are not connected into the communities, I highly recommend that you join them. You can do so from your landing page by going down to communities and browsing. They're completely free. So, we really appreciate your feedback at ISTE. You can give a session feedback from your planner on your app. And now for giveaways, because that's what you're all waiting for. I know. I'm a teacher. We like free stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. For those that replied to the QR race, whoever my first 12 responders were, you are our winners. Okay, so if you will go in, it looks like, who was our first responder here? I'm going to switch over to the laptop. Mrs. Perez, looks like you are number 1 winner. Mrs. Brown is number 2 winner. Mrs. Abrams, I'm going to slaughter some names. I'm so sorry. Miss Marrero, Miss Atherton, Mr. Shoemaker, Mrs. McGee, Miss Morelli, Mr. Snyder, how many am I up to? Miss Hollingsworth, Miss Stolte, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that 11? Count down 12 if you're close to it. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. Have a great conference.